At this boys' school in Gaza City, children no longer come to learn. It is now one of the newest refugee camps in Gaza. As the fighting continues between Israel and Hamas, families are now fleeing into safer places. 200 families of 1,000 people now call this home. The Israeli military has warned up to 300,000 overall that their neighborhoods are now targets, claiming they are also being used to hide missiles and to launch them.
You have till 8 o'clock to evacuate. We don't want to harm women or children.
When Khadija read this leaflet, dropped from the sky by Israeli planes 3 days ago, she knew she had no choice.
I don't trust them. They could target anyone, so the best choice was to evacuate.
Khadija and her family of 10 children left with nothing but their clothes and blankets. And for Warda, who received the same warning, she struggles to care for her disabled son, who is traumatized by the nightly airstrikes.
When he hears the sound of the bombing, he uses his hands to cover his ears.
Despite the destruction in Gaza and upheaval in the lives of the families, there is still little support for a ceasefire if there is no change in their life.
Of course we want a ceasefire, but it means nothing if the borders remain closed.
After 8 years of siege-like conditions, with borders controlled by Israel and Egypt, life here is one of shortages. Fishermen can't work because they can only go no more than 3 miles off the coast. The Gaza Strip has rolling blackouts of 8 to 12 hours, now made worse by the fighting that has damaged power stations. At least 30% of Gaza is in the dark. Gasoline is scarce and expensive, but the biggest concern is money. Salaries have not been paid for those 40,000 people working for the Hamas government, which is nearly bankrupt. The economy is dependent on credit, and this puts store owners on the spot.
I'm asked by many if they can pay in credit, but I say no because I have to pay for my supplies in cash.
Ahmed Sabi actually says business for him is good, and not because of Ramadan, when people try to have big meals after fasting.
They are actually buying a lot because they are stockpiling because of the war.
With no end in sight to a war that may only just be beginning, residents here still hope this will be the summer that brings not only peace, but change for good.